Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry my lighting isn't great, my setup isn't great. I just moved and I don't have my tripod and other stuff yet. Anyways, to get to what you actually want to see, please watch part 1 and 2 if you haven't, because otherwise none of this is going to make sense. And with no further ado, I'm just going to show you the messages and how things have progressed. And also, because I don't have my tripod yet, I'll be holding my camera, so it might be a little shaky, so sorry in advance for that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think per usual.
Okay, so the last time we were here, I said to Onision that I didn't want to answer his messages anymore, and then he said, okay, run from the conversation or whatever. Then I said, more Onision logic, first you want to end the conversation, and then I quote him, where he says, either way, this conversation should end as it is a waste of time. And then when I say the same, I'm quote-unquote running from the conversation, sigh, your hypocrisy knows no bounds, neither does your gaslighting. And then he said, did you not want to respond to my last message at all, or, and then I said, yes, the whole comparing thing. By that logic, then, you should also never be happy, because surely there's someone who has it better off. I see your point, yes, worst tragedies sometimes don't get the airtime they deserve because of bias and so on. That, however, does not nullify the fact that Manchester was a tragedy too, even with less deaths. Also, by continuously mentioning the toddlers and children, you're trying to get yourself attention to pass yourself off as more virtuous. First of all, not everyone is aware of every single tragedy, so they can't acknowledge it. Second of all, if we had to acknowledge every single tragedy, we would never be off our phones or in a good mood. People might mention Manchester because they identify with concert goers, or they live near there, or what have you, and that doesn't make them inherently attention-seeking or bad people. Most of your points revolve around quote-unquote truths you've established. It doesn't make them universal or true in everyone's perspective. And of course, he comes back with, over 400 civilians were killed today by the US. Did you tweet about any of those lives lost? No. Why? Are those 400 people less important? Their numbers are many times greater. My point is obvious. It was not about the tragedy, it was about the relevance. If you can't see the obvious 2 + 2 = 4 reality in front of you, good luck. Then I said, you didn't address any of my points. Also, about the I know about the civilians killed. I actually haven't tweeted about any matter because I only made Twitter yesterday. Also, if you want to argue about numbers, then yes, numerically more people have died today than at Manchester. However, there will always be a bigger tragedy, but each tragedy is a tragedy. If someone in my family died, it's a tragedy. Of course, there might be 20 people dying elsewhere as well, but does that mean I can't address my own grief? How do you not see this point? And then I added something else because he kept focusing on Twitter, so I said, my argument isn't about tweets or what we address on social media, it's about letting people grieve about what they want to grieve. Although the media is biased, you can't choose to say Manchester is less relevant because less people died.
Okay, so I know that after last time, a lot of you were telling me not to respond, and I got a lot of those messages after I already did respond. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of in that place where it's really frustrating, so you want to answer, but I also realize that he's never going to admit to being wrong or anything really, so yeah, I don't know what to do. In a sense, I think continuing messaging him just gives me more ammunition to show what he's actually like, but I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know, I'm obviously in this middle ground, so I'd appreciate your opinions, and yeah, thank you all for the support I've been getting on my last 2 videos. A lot of the people were really nice and understanding, and I really appreciate that, considering that at one point I was never really, like, I wouldn't say I looked up to him, but I was like thinking we had similar mentalities, and I think that's always just super disappointing. But you already know all this if you've watched my first 2 videos, so I'm gonna shut up. And yeah, thanks for watching.